Good evening, friends. It's a great honor to host this panel. We will be certainly discussing an important aspect on the sustainability development as far as real estate as well as our infrastructure projects are concerned, especially related to the redevelopment and infrastructure and development. Now we know as far as infrastructure is concerned, I don't have to tell you, for the last maybe 8-9 years, the budget allocation that has been done to the infrastructure is huge. And every budget, we are seeing how our transport minister as well as infrastructure one who is looking after, that is Nitin Gadkari, the efforts that he is putting is tremendous. And I don't have to specify the development that is happening in the real estate as well as infrastructure. Having said that, yes, the lot of sustainability, that is eco-housing, environmental friendly, saving energies, and the development. No doubt COVID has taken about 2 years of our valuable life, but whatever it has taken, now a different turn has started happening. Everywhere there is a positive environment, and with that positive note, and by congratulating everybody who has won this award today, with that let me start with the first question to Dr. Anand Gupta, who is also the chairman of RERA Committee of Builders Association of India. And as a developer, the RERA has come in. We have seen a lot of developers also have faced IBC, that is insolvency and bankruptcy. There were a lot of issues regarding especially the building line, and lot of changes were happening even in the development control and promotion regulation. And especially in Maharashtra, we have seen that uniform DCPR also has come, development control and promotion regulation. With all this positive environment, and of course the RERA, the way they are proceeding, because we are heading a RERA committee, we have seen the RERA has also started creating more and more, regulatory system, especially after about 65 developers. I think many of you may be knowing, 65 developers had forged the commencement certificate, approved plan, and they had prepared the stamp of the KDMC, and then they constructed the building also, and the RERA registration also they issued, and then they were also sold the flat. Ultimately they were behind the bar. But because of this thing, now the RERA has started seeing a lot of rigidity. They created a different department for the purpose of technical, legal, and then you got the financial, and the registration process has become very stringent. And thereafter, the RERA has now taken a decision that whatever the approvals they are going to receive or the application they are going to receive, they will get it cross-verified from the planning authority and the common authority. Does it not, create some negative impact in the developers, and how you ultimately look at this sector?
As a representative of Builders Association of India, those people who are responsible for making more housing and infra, I definitely feel this is the obstruction. But we have to also realize one thing: till this RERA came into picture in this country, 70 years, we have run the whole real estate in a very haphazard. Today, if I see, in our country, there are 8,000 towns which are defined like population having more than 50,000, and around 650,000 villages. And you will be surprised that 9% of the villages do not have any kind of approval. Whenever they were made and whatever way they were made, without making any provision for expansion, road, drainage, water supply, or anything. Similarly, these so-called 8,000 towns, 90% towns are like that. Now, this is the ground reality of the country. Now, in the process, some regulatory authority who has got some control on our check and balance, accountability to all the builders was probably definitely needed. So I definitely feel that this is the obstruction. Sometimes, whenever my proposal also do not get clear so quickly, I feel obstruction. But when I look at the overall picture, I feel whatever is happening, it is happening for good for the common citizen, good for the industry, good for all the financial institutions who are financing these projects. So we have to, when I look at a neutral person, I feel whatever is going on, we have to support and let us face for some days this so-called obstruction. But in reality, ultimately everybody has to work in a disciplined manner, in a law-abiding manner, and that is what is happening now, and we should support.
Okay, so you are very positive about the real estate sector which is coming up.
Yes, yes. See, as I see all the things which were happening before 2017, and then I see now, there is a lot of difference. Now, customer, I can definitely tell any customer, you book a house in this project, which is having this kind of qualification, and he will definitely get house. This one I can definitely say. Earlier, that was not the situation. So, this is a very big difference.
Sir, Anup Nair, so he is a managing director of Heritage Engineering. Now, looking at the construction as well as infrastructure, a lot of developments are happening. Now, what type of further improvement can be done? How a positive environment can be done? And more, when we talk about 5 trillion economy that we want to, and what type of role that infrastructure is going to play, and what is that you expect from the government for creating a very good sustainable development?
Thank you for asking me the question. Now, in India, as far as sustainability is concerned, we are more on a compliance mode. Okay, there is a lot of difference between going on a compliance mode and that of a culture. Okay, sustainability is something which I want to do, so I will contribute to that. So that culture we need to develop among all the parts of the society. Today it is going on a compliance mode, which means we are on a dependent culture. Okay, police aayega, so we will not cross the red line. So that kind of a system is there. Whereas already the developed countries have moved in terms of sustainability into a culture. So developing a culture of sustainability is the key to the success in that. So all the industries today are trying to, at least the multinational organizations, they have certain guidelines that you need to focus on the sustainability as a culture, not as a compliance. Even if government is not talking about it, many of the organizations have already started, like we are also going into the sustainability mode. So the key is changing from a compliance perspective to that of a culture perspective. That's the key for future success.
Yeah, what do you expect from the government? Whether you are happy with the government, the policies for the purpose of sustainable development, especially construction.
Government is definitely keen on sustainability. Government is talking about sustainability in a big way, but there should be more of awareness building onto that, so that everybody owns it. It's not just the government's responsibility. Government's responsibility, yes, should be in building the awareness so that everybody starts thinking about sustainability as the major thing. So that awareness building is not happening from the government side to the extent which is required. Yes, government is insisting via certain rules and compliance. So that's what is very much required.
Yeah, Anupam Mittal, who is a principal architect and director of Laram Consultancy Services Private Limited. See, Anupam, just to understand, now the development control and promotion regulations, you may have a development plan, so many things are happening. But when we look at, in cities like Mumbai metros, especially metro cities as well as Tier 1, Tier 2, other cities, the FSI which is coming up, and because of this, everybody wants more space inside, and everything is now counted. Because of this, the architecture which otherwise we used to see earlier, are we missing that link, or whether still there is a scope with all limitations? Are you able to do a good building, architecturally better planning, and how it can lead to again further sustainable development?
Yeah, thank you, sir. First of all, let me introduce myself about the sustainability. I am chairing Uttar Pradesh state as a for the SHM GEM. It's a green rating certification system, and I am also executive committee member for that country, where I am advocating the government compliances. So talking about the government compliances, the biggest thing which is coming up, since it is a platform where architecture and infrastructure we are talking about. So first, your answer is, for your question, answer is that if you have a larger development, you have larger potential, you have a larger opportunity. So a single house when having a sustainable infrastructure, when there is a rooftop recharging, or maybe rooftop solar system, maybe gadgets and all those things. This is a scale. If you put it in a small scale, and when having a development of say 1,000 houses in a footprint which is not 1,000 times. So you have a larger opportunity, larger footprint for the better sustainable development because of technology. As far as things are coming up in a larger manner, technology is improving a lot. If you talk about, let's say, somebody from lift company sitting out here, they can say their lifts are more sustainable now. They are recharging their system when they are traveling. Even another part is infrastructure. Since we are talking about infrastructure also, I'm sitting in Mumbai. I'm coming from Lucknow right now, and I'm working in Delhi also. The station in Dadar I'm designing for railway, and we are doing almost 45 stations in the country, where the potential is very high. When your this railway line is going to be developed, railway stations are going to be developed, you will be seeing a different skyline, a different development in terms of FSI and FAR, where those areas are almost empty. Lot of rail tracks are there. Lot of FSI is available for built up. So that will be coming up in a very large development, and government is insisting on the green rating system for all railway stations. Right, recently we worked on this Chandigarh railway station, and the government has asked 5-star rating for the station. When lot of water is there, lot of surface is there, lot of rooftop is available, opportunities are ample. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. We have with us Professor A.S. Khanna, Chairman of Society for Surface Protective Coatings. Now, sir, what is your take on the sustainable development, especially related to infrastructure and construction?
Very good evening. It is our 8th year we are doing some kind of events, and this award function as well as the quality of the awards is increasing every year. So this year we have chosen a very apt topic for panel discussion: sustainability in infrastructure. So what is sustainability? We are using this word quite often. And what is the meaning of sustainability when we talk about infrastructure? Basically, sustainability means to sustain something for a longer time, for a longer duration, and trying to conserve the natural environment by not destroying the natural things and using them as such, and using as low energy as possible for our day-to-day development. Now, when we come to the question of infrastructure, the buildings are made by concrete, and you cannot replace concrete with a lot of other things. But definitely there is a chance to reduce concrete and use alternative things wherever it is necessary. But the first thing is that if we have to use concrete, how we can reduce for example, one of the important things today coming is the carbon footprint. Now, to use concrete, the basic thing is cement. And when we make cement, one of the most important things required is coal. If, for example, we replace coal by, say, CNG or another kind of a thing, we save around 55% of the carbon footprint. That is a very positive thing to do that. And this is really happening, and many modern cement plants have taken to that, and that is helping to the sustainability in the infrastructure. The second important thing is that when we construct a building, its longevity will be there, and we have to go for the proper reinforced structure. And along with the reinforced structure, we have to see the specifications of earthquakes and other things, so that it sustains. Because in a lot of in the recent years, we are seeing several buildings getting destroyed because of this thing, because they are not meeting the proper Richter scale at which they should exist. The third important thing is, when we make a building, how can it use natural products as much as possible? I mean, today if you see variety of woods coming into the market, and they require lots of energy consumption when it finally comes to your home. So can we use the things made from the original thing like bamboos and other things, especially when we are decorating our rooftop or when we are decorating our garden area and other things? If we use some of these natural things, perhaps we can help a lot. Second important thing is the paints. Today there are 1,000 varieties of paint. We call eco-friendly paint, green paints, paints which don't use carcinogenic materials and other kind of things. So if we make choice of such kind of things, that will help make your things very, very protective. Second, energy saving in the houses where we are living. Of course, it should be fully ventilated so that you can use less AC. But the kind of heat waves which are there, it is not possible to use live without coolers or without air conditioning and other kind of thing. So how can we reduce the electricity consumption by this thing? So there are one book alternative today which is going on in a very big way, to use solar heat reflecting coatings on the roofs and on the walls where the sun falls, and it gives a very big drop. We have found that by using in a rooftop house of 1,000 square foot, a AC which is 1.5 ton for 10 hours, if we use these coatings, you save 7 units per day. And 7 units is equal to 4.2 kg of coal converted into that. And that are some of the things which we have to really look into that. Similarly, photovoltaic based coatings, if you apply on the walls and other things, they generate electricity which can be used in several kinds of things. So, a lot of such kind of measures are there which are required to be taken. The last part which I want to focus is the speed at which we make concrete buildings. I think that is, I still find it's a very dismal situation. Several buildings don't come in 6 to 7 years. Of course, we are talking about multi-story buildings. If a multi-story building today, it takes minimum 5 to 7 years. While in many other countries, China and other things, they say they can build it in 2 years. So that one aspect, that how can we build it fast. Second thing is, so many buildings we need for which we have not even begun. For example, slums removal, encroachments on the roads. So I think for such kind of things, ready-made building structures like Kirby and other kind of things, that should be encouraged, which will take less energy, which requires less time for building and all this kind of thing. So if those things are used in such kind of activities, to me, I think that will help in making the construction activity faster, and that will take less energy, less resources, and hence make close to sustainability in our construction activities. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So, Rajesh Baiwa, Director, NEB Operations on Elevators. So, you can give your input on whatever Professor A.S. Khanna has rightly pointed out. The sustainable development means keeping natural resources intact without disturbing that, the development and natural imbalance should not be there. So you can give your input on that.
So good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you very much for this opportunity. Thank you, Mr. Nair. Thanks for beginning this session with real catwalk. So thank you very much. So coming on to the subject, sustainability, Mr. Professor has already defined it very well and very passionately explained. But at Pune, we understand it in three ways. First is ethics and compliance, which we discussed in detail, and many people spoke and gave you. From our point of view, if you ask what government has to do on this from elevator and electrical industry, today we have lift rule only in 12 states, and we have 27 states. So only 12 states are getting exposed to better sustainable equipment. There are still 17 to 18 states are deprived of having a good quality equipment which are sustainable. So that's the first point. If government can help us with pan-India regulation on the Electricity Act. Like Mumbai is very advanced, we have good Electricity Act and very good enforcement. That is not the same condition across India. So that is the one major step government can support us, it will take us some leap forward. Coming to second point, energy efficiency, Professor has touched upon. Energy efficiency point of view, this part is extremely important. Today 200,000 people in the world are coming to cities. Out of which I think 30 to 50,000 people are coming in India. And buildings constitutes 55% of energy consumption of the world. And in that building 2 to 10% is elevator. So this is so much importance of the elevator energy consumption in the building. So when my request to all developers as well as government is when they finalize the thing, this energy consumption should be given a thought. Now what is happening? I tell you practical difficulty. Developer is responsible for building and handing over to the society. Energy efficiency benefits are going to go to society. So that part is not taken care. But my suggestion is here, culture what we talked about, we should not think of our own business, but as a sustainable society. So energy efficiency should be kept trying. And here, like there are now, for example, regenerative drive, we are giving optional because everybody doesn't want it. But I feel there will be a day people will say we want regenerative drive only because we look forward to sustainable future. So that must happen. Apart from that, there are many features like when you are not using lift, light should dim, control panel should dim, energy consumption should be used. In a bigger building, there is a destination control system available. You can efficiently use your elevator saving energy. Though the temporary cost for investment is high, but over the period and if you see payback, it will be much better for reward. And the last but not the least, which is important point, is circulatory. Like this is applicable to all construction industry. We as India is very poor in our scrap management. How we dispose of scrap, it is very sustainable way or not. We at Pune, we are having one circulatory policy by which we are saying we will be carbon neutral by 2030. For India, this target is 2070. Here we are saying it's 40% reduction from our product and value chain. 50% will come from our field operations, where the scrap disposal and equipment disposal in a sustainable way. And this is applicable for our entire construction industry. So that is the last important leg of our sustainable construction we see. So this is all from my side. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We have with us Shailesh Ranjan, Head of the Business Planning and Operations and Technical, Ashai India Glass Limited. Yes, sir. You can give your input on the sustainable development that we are talking about, infrastructure as well as in the construction.
Thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. So I think all the eminent speakers has spoken everything what I have thought that I am going to speak.
You are into a glass industry.
Yes, so I give a different essence for the same.
Exactly.
So I belong to glass and glazing industry. So I just try to look at the same issue from the different lens. So what happens? So if you categorize this whole issue, it is in 4 different categories. First is the technological challenge. Second is energy efficiency or carbon neutrality, what people is talking about. Third is awareness about the same. And fourth, the most important thing what sir mentioned was intent to adopt. The compliance may be there, but whether people are adopting it just because of the compliance or it is within the culture. So at Asahi India Glass Limited, what we are doing it into the 3 steps, what we call it a cradle to cradle, which spoke about the circularity of the product. Like the time when the product is getting produced, at that time how we are able to reduce the carbon footprint by reducing the heat required to melt that silica sand to make the glass. So within last 10 years we are able to reduce it by 14 to 17% by technological advancement. Beyond that, we are also making some product which can actually generate the electricity, like we call it BIP, building integrated photovoltaic glass. So facade is a big space what is available to generate the electricity. So whatever electricity what you are consuming, you can generate inside. And third is whatever is the waste, that waste again goes back to the factory to make the glass again. So it gives the complete circularity. So that's how we think that everyone should be thinking about this should be the approach towards the sustainability in the construction. And it should be a culture, as very rightly pointed out, it has to be a culture. So that's all.
So, thank you, sir. As he has rightly pointed out, and even Professor Sir said, it's always the awareness. First and foremost, it starts with the awareness. And having said that something related to sustainable development, we create an awareness, then people also should start appreciating it. Unless until that awareness is created, the appreciation will not come. Because ultimately that environment, whatever we are having, it is that we need to give it to the next generation. So we cannot think of today, we need to look at the future as well. And the last is, once having said that awareness is created, it is also appreciated, then you have to accept it. What we mean is acceptance means the developers or the people who are into the industry, definitely they will do. But ultimately, housing societies or the RWA, which is going to manage and maintain future, also need to accept this technologies or appreciate the environmental issues. Sir, we have with us Vivek Kulkarni as well, CEO of Building Environment India. So you can give your intake as related to the sustainable development, and most importantly, we would like to know as to what government can do, if at all, this awareness and acceptance and appreciation need to be done, and it should be long lasting.
Thank you. And thank you for giving me an opportunity to express myself over here. And I would like to start with my objection to the word sustainability. It came into existence in 1970s. Today we are in 2023. After 50 years, we need to graduate. And I think the more appropriate words are responsible and accountable. And unless and until we have this responsibility and accountability, the much milked words like sustainability are not going to take us anywhere. The second important issue which comes in terms of carrying capacity. Okay, we never look at things. I mean, we celebrated beating China in one thing now in population, but there is a carrying capacity for everything. So nature also has a carrying capacity, and we need to understand that. Mumbai is a city where there is a explosion of population. Same city, we have explosion of flamingos. Same city, we have explosion of leopards. Okay. So what is it? Because in my school, I was told environment, that web of life, it has a man, it has some snakes, some lizard, some tiger, something. Today, my world is changed. In my web of life, a car is a very much part of it. A house or a building is very much part of it. A railway track is very much point of it. Now, once we have this and once we have accepted all this, we need to dominate the world, not sustain the world. we need to come up with our own ideas. A building, 44-story building. Why can't we? You know what we do is we get all the water below, goes through sewage treatment plant, and then we pump up with all the energy again on top and then recirculate. Why can't we have systems where you can have smaller STPs for every refuge floor of 7 floors? That much water can, with gravity, can be provided to the lower floors, and that way you can reduce the energy budget of the building tremendously. For this, we don't require government. I think we, as responsible builders, developers, infrastructure people, can ourselves do this, and probably need to look at government to give us more incentives to take ahead these kind of things. Many a times I see nala is flowing through the plot and that nala is kept aside. We were not accommodative of it. But if like that Pune Osho Park nala garden can be created, you can use it as your RG. We have enough of expertise, we have enough of intelligence, and sir, you rightly stated and stole my word because I'm the last one, is to create that culture. So much is possible, and I think with this August gathering, there are so many people who may be having so many ideas. If they can be shared on a platform like this, I think that can work a great way. What government needs to do, I think what government needs to do is provide for the proper implementation of what they are asking for. Many a times there is too much of babugiri, too much of compliances, but they are not ready to support people. I mean, Environment Secretary of this state had once told me, I am not here to encourage people for environmental sustainability. I am here to check whether laws are being followed or not. Not done. If government should be coming forward to accommodate these kind of things, we need to understand. One last example I will give. Any road even you make and you want to cross it over, you put a bridge. How many % of people want to climb up the bridge and cross the road? Because that's not human nature, it's not animal nature. We are all animals. So when you are creating road, infrastructure roads, when you think of animals crossing the road, you need to take the road up and down. Let the animal path be as it is, there will be lesser accidents, lesser animals. You may have seen that thing going viral, 22 black bucks jumped off the bridge because they can't see like we humans can. So we need to use our understanding and create infrastructure that is accommodative rather than exclusive. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Each one of you have won your perspective, and I think it has been great tuning, and we'll definitely take a lot of learnings from this panel discussion. Thank you very much.
participants and especially the moderator for this panel discussion.
So congratulations to all the awardees, and today I got the pleasure of giving the vote of thanks, and CIA Award, of course Epic Media, the MD Vijay Nair and his team was organized this wonderful event. Let us start with giving vote of thanks to the lead sponsor AP Apollo Steel Pipes, and all the sponsors who have made this event successful. Of course, the chief guest of the day. Of course, we had Gopal Singer. He could not make it, but of course we had Sanjay Upadhyay, Mr. Prakash Dalekar, and all the dignitaries, panelists, and all the sponsors. I, on behalf of Epic Media, thank each one of you, and also each one of you for coming here and gracing the occasions and be a part of us. Thank you, and of course, Comparer and other people who have been, instrumental in making this award function success. Thank you, all of you. Thank you.